Sit tight and prepare your snacks, because we're going to dissect the movie Bad Boys, Ride or Die. This movie is straight to the point from the beginning. We meet again with Detective Mike Lowry, played by Will Smith, and Marcus Burnett, played by the hilarious actor Martin Lawrence. But this time there's something different. In the opening, we see Mike getting married. Yep, finally the playboy retired and married Christine, the girl who appeared in the previous movie. But of course, Mike and Marcus' life can't be peaceful for long. This couple once again has to face a big problem, and this time the stakes are higher because it concerns the good name of the late Captain Howard, their boss who died in the previous movie, Bad Boys for Life. In this movie, Captain Howard is accused of being involved in cooperation with a drug cartel, and all the evidence points to him. Mike and Marcus, who don't believe the accusation, immediately investigate themselves to clear their captain's name. But the problem is, all law enforcement agencies are targeting them, and they become fugitives. Mike and Marcus are now in a very less than ideal position, wanted by the police and the FBI, but also hunted by hitmen hired by the real mastermind. And yes, this isn't just about clearing their names. This is life and death. Interestingly, this film gives time for Marcus' character to experience a near-death experience. In a shootout, Marcus had a heart attack, and was in critical condition. Well, since that incident, Marcus became spiritually awakened. He began to experience a kind of enlightenment. He had a new spirit, even likes to say that he can't die. It's ridiculous, but also a running joke that makes you laugh throughout the film. Meanwhile, Mike, who is usually calm and strategic, begins to lose control. He becomes more emotional because the late Captain Howard keeps being brought up, and his wife also begins to be targeted. Mike and Marcus finally realize that the only way out of this problem is to become crazy versions of bad boys. Their investigation leads to one name, James McGrath, a corrupt agent who turns out to be the mastermind of the cartel. He is the one who compiled all the false evidence to trap Captain Howard. And worse, he is also the one who controls the drug smuggling operation with a super neat system. But of course, to uncover all this, Mike and Marcus can't do it alone. They need help. So, some characters from the previous film appear again, like Armando Aretas, Mike's biological son who used to be the main enemy, but is now being held in a high-security prison. Mike and Marcus must work with Armando to get important information about McGrath's network. Here, we see a new dynamic. Armando, who used to be evil, now has to learn to be part of the team. It's not easy, especially since Marcus is still traumatized because Armando once killed Captain Howard. But over time, their chemistry starts to melt, and Armando starts to show that he really wants to atone for his sins. Like other Bad Boys films, Ride or Die is full of brutal and cool action. Starting from a shootout in the middle of the highway, a brutal fight on an old ship, to a scene of escaping from a helicopter in the middle of the night. The most iconic scene is probably when they sneak into a cartel headquarters in the middle of a swamp, using a motorboat while being chased by armed drones. And as usual, Marcus always adds comedy to every action. In one scene, he tries to drive a small plane to escape, but almost crashes into a hill because he's busy snacking on gum. It's so ridiculous, but it breaks the tense atmosphere. Meanwhile, Mike starts to show his dark side. He's not playing around anymore. In order to save his family and clear his captain's name, he's ready to do anything, including going undercover as a drug dealer and getting into the heart of McGrath's operation. At the end of the film, it all culminates in one big action set in the oil tower that McGrath serves as his headquarters. Here, a life-and-death battle ensues. Mike, Marcus, and Armando team up to take on a heavily armed force. The final battle between Mike and McGrath is brutal. There's no fancy Hollywood shootout, it's pure bloodshed. In the end, Mike defeats McGrath, and all evidence of the corrupt agent's involvement is exposed to the public. But this victory comes at a high price. One of their team members, Dawn, is killed in action. This moment is a deep emotional point, especially for Marcus, who has often been considered a jokester. The film ends on a sweet note. Captain Howard's name is cleared. Mike and Marcus get their awards again, although as usual, they cause a scene during the ceremony. Mike finally makes peace with his past and grows closer to Armando, who is now placed in a special rehabilitation program. But don't think everything is calm. The post-credits scene hints at a new threat. It turns out there are still some cartel members who haven't been caught, and there's a mysterious person who's threatening Mike. Is this a setup for a fifth film?